Hi guys, so today I'm bringing you a video about the Blend Bunny Search Palette. Blend Bunny Cosmetics is a woman-owned indie brand that's established by the Instagram influencer Blend Bunny, aka Maggie Jones. Their first release is the Blends palette, which roughly came out a year ago. It is a very primary kind of rainbow palette, and I have already done a review on that. The Search palette is their second release. It came out around Halloween, I think, last year, and it is a very unique kind of rainbow palette with pastels, neons, grungy tones, and deeper tones. And it is also the first palette with their shimmer formula. So as you can see from the swatches, they are not exactly the best when swatched out. They are not crazy pigmented or crazy smooth, but wait till the end to see how I apply them on the eyes and what I actually feel about the application. So the review part starts around the 7-minute mark. Feel free to jump ahead. So yeah, after all the swatching, let's head on to the tutorial part.
Have you ever met someone you feel like he's the one?
Okay, the first look is actually inspired by P.Louise Academy on their Instagram account. It is a kind of blue, purple, pink combo kind of eye look. I'm not really a fan of my first eye. On the left side, it's a bit too blended out, so I'm starting out on this eye to film this eye look. So basically what I've done is take the 3 blues in this palette to blend them out from deepest to lightest, and finishing with the neon blue and blending it out to the temples. Then I'm taking the deep purple to apply it to the middle part of the crease, also blending it out with the middle purple and the lightest purple. I also used the eyeshadow brush that I applied the lightest blue with to kind of merge between the purple and the blue, and then I'm blending it out with the lightest purple. Then I'm taking a very deep red kind of shade and try to blend out with the neon pink shade, but unfortunately it is too contrasty. That's why it's not blending out the easiest. So I'm taking the middle pink to help me with the blending. Then I did a little bit of cut crease with the P.Louise blank canvas, using the deepest blue to draw kind of a very thick eye line kind of, and blend it out with the neon blue. Then I'm using the neon pink to apply it to the outer parts of the half cut crease, and then using the 2 matte purple shades to apply it to the inner parts of the cut crease. Finally, I'm using my finger to take a little bit of the lightest shimmer to apply it on the middle part of my cut crease. This is better to apply with my finger because this is more pigmented that way. And then I'm using blank canvas by P.Louise to clean up the edges of my makeup. Then I'm using purple to apply it to the lower lash line, blending it out with a neon pink. And the major part of this look is complete. And then I applied some lashes, the rest of my makeup, and the look is done. So for the second tutorial, I chose to do a green look. I'm applying the P.Louise base in 2.5 on my entire eyelid, taking this kind of foresty deep green to apply it on the front half of my crease, blending it out with a kind of middle tone green shade, and finally the neon green. The neon green is something that I look forward to the most, and it did apply quite well. Then I'm using blank canvas to cut the crease, using the black shade to apply it on the outer parts to create an outer V. and then blending it in with the deep green and the medium green. Then I'm taking the pastel green. It kind of has a kind of gray tone to it, kind of grayish green, and apply to the inner parts of the lid. Then I'm taking the deep green to apply it, leaving a gap over my crease, and blending it out with the medium green and the neon green. That way I have kind of a double cut crease situation on the outer parts of my crease. And then I'm re-intensifying my gap on my crease with P.Louise blank canvas, and then using some deeper shades to apply to the lower lash line. Finally, taking some of the shimmery green to apply it on the inner parts of the eyelid. This is me showing you it's not applying that well with a brush. Then I switched to my fingers and it all looks pretty again. And then using the lighter green to blend out the lower lash line, leaving the inner part of the lower lash line blank for later. This is when I use the neon green to make that extra pop. I really love the neon green. It's very neon, kind of, if that's the right expression for me to use. And then I'm cleaning it up with some more blank canvas, and then taking the Mitchell collaboration with P.Louise. This is the kind of neon green eye paint to use it as an eyeliner. And then I applied on my lashes and the rest of my makeup, and the look is done. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and let's get on with the review portion. Hi guys, so today I'm bringing you a video about the Blend Bunny Surge palette. So this palette is a kind of rainbow palette with a twist. So their first palette, as I have reviewed before, is the Blends palette. And the Blends palette is the kind of rainbow palette that you would normally expect. It looks like this. It's very primary kind of color. For the Surge palette, it is a mixture of pastel colors, grungy colors, deeper tones, shimmers, and neon colors. So this palette has, in my humble opinion, has a more different twist to it, making it a lot more unique to my collection than the Blends palette. I'm not saying the Blends palette is not good or anything, but this palette, in my opinion, is more unique. Today and last week I used this palette to create two looks. The first one is the kind of blue purpley look, and the second one is today's green look. So I would definitely feel like the matte formula in this palette is as good as the Blends palette. They're definitely not as pigmented as my Glaminatrix eyeshadows, but their pigmentation is good enough and they're very blendable. So overall, I do feel like this palette is suitable for both advanced users and beginners. That's because if the pigmentation is a bit too high, then it might be a bit difficult for users to, especially for beginners, to control the level of pigment applying onto the eyes. As for the shimmers, this is Blend Bunny's first shimmer formula. And this formula, I feel like it applies better with the finger. I somehow feel like applying these shimmers with this kind of brush, it's not picking up as much, and when it's applying to the eyes, it's just like a very sheer veil of shimmers on top of my eyelids. But if I'm using my fingers, you can see it's pretty pigmented and very nice looking. They're not the largest kind of shimmer particles. They're not like the Vina Cosmetics. They have very large specks of shimmers in them and making them extra sparkly. They're more finely milled. They're more like a sheen on the eyelids, but nothing too crazy. These shimmers are not my favorite formula, but I'm not saying they're bad by any means. It's just I prefer the shimmers that are larger in particle and a bit easier to pick up with the brush. But that being said, if a shimmer formula is very easy to be picked up with a brush, then it's definitely less tightly pressed and making them more fragile in transport. So this palette is very sturdy because when I got this palette, I used the package forwarding service. They took away all the protective material on this palette, and it still arrived intact. This palette is perfect for traveling because it is very sturdy, and it doesn't have a mirror, so that makes it very lightweight. So yeah, that's my overall opinion on this palette. Do I recommend it? Yes, of course. It is such a unique twist on a rainbow palette. I definitely feel like I'm lacking a lot of these tones in my collection. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you do want to pick up this palette, go for it. It's $39 US if I remember correctly. They often have discounts like 25% off or something. So if you want this palette, you can definitely wait till the discount and then buy it. I bought this palette full price, but I still feel like it's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.